You don't have my glass. Oh, there's some here. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Doug, I sent you a link just to let you know. So what's going on? What's going on? Let's see here. Doug's in the house. Ole, hi everyone. Good morning, everyone. AJ, hope you're feeling better. AJ, Analyze, hello, Ole. I hope you're feeling better. AJ. I'm sorry, dear. Glad you're still joining us under the weather. All right. April's in the house. Welcome in, April. Hope you're having a good vacation. All crazy morning, 3:30 a.m. Woke up to a house across from us on fire. Oh wow. Oh gosh. Sorry to hear that. No doubt. My lord. April, everyone got out, but there were two little children. I can't imagine how scary it was from without a doubt. No doubt about that. Hello, Bible. Welcome in, Bible. Sure can. Sure can. Hang on, Doug. I'll post it right now for you.
Got your light on?
There you go, my friend. There you go. I hate how that makes my glasses. There you go. You got it. They said they were all okay, but traumatized. No one was in the room that caught fire. Thank God. We stayed with them until they got back and got their things. It was a rental. Oh, gosh. Bible, AJ, Marianne. Hello, everyone. Hello, Marianne. L's in the house. Good afternoon, Dee and chat. L. All right. Well, I'm going to send this one here to Chris as well. I don't know if Chris is in here or not, but I'm going to send it to him. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'd sent it him already, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the chat for Chris. Oh, hope everybody's having a good day, without a doubt. Just let me know when you're coming in, Doug. Awesome. Short of the fire and everything else. Welcome in, Doug. Doug is in the house. Doug is in the house.
Good to see you, dog. Double pops.
Awesome, my friend. Right. It's just been a busy day for me. Ready. Been a busy day. All sticking more. Does anybody know where Chris is at by any chance?
Haven't seen him.
Haven't seen him? He's telling me if I was late, I'm getting fired. Oh, Lordy mercy. Probably sleeping. Probably stayed up late last night. Probably stayed up late last night with Patriot Pride or something.
Yeah, I don't think Patriot was on last night.
Oh, he wasn't? Hell, I don't know who was on. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
You know, 2C's in the house. Good to have you, 2C. Yeah. Someone said, AJ said he's riding his bike. He's still on that e-bike.
He's trying to get back home, yeah.
He's trying to get back home. He said, screw this. I'm going home. I'm taking my sandwiches with me. Oh, Lord mercy. Well, we're just waiting for Chris. Let me see if I can get him on the phone real quick. Hang on. Hang on. He's definitely sleeping because he ain't picking up. Well, he didn't answer, so I'm assuming he is asleep. That or he didn't do his homework last night. What do you think it is, Chris? Or I'm sorry, Doug. What do you think it is? All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome in. We're going to talk today. We're going to talk about that new information that came through from Brianna Whitney. Information on that first ransom note. And that's what we're going to cover today. Kind of go over some of the information and try to process it and make sense of it. And see, where it leads us. What possible things, who the narrative could fit, what could it be about. April, I just watched Brianna, so I would know what we're talking about. Sounds good. Buttercups is in the house. Welcome in, Buttercups. Click that like, everybody. Click the like, get the algorithms going. So that's the topic of the day. Chris was going to be here. He must have got into a traffic jam. So we're going to go ahead and start in hopes that he gets in here. Thank you, 2C. Appreciate it. My beautiful wife got me this nice shirt. I love it. Says everything about who I am. Photon is in the house. Oh, Dr. Gary, love him. He has my kind of sense of humor, says Oleg. Yeah, he's pretty good. I like Dr. Gary Brucato. Hello, friends and everyone, says Buttercups. Yeah, I mean, the idea that literally he's really good. It's always good to have someone in his line of work to be able to bounce things off of and try to get a perspective from the social mind, the aspect of the behavioral of it all, because that's a big part of a lot of these crimes and things that are happening around. John makes me laugh every time. He is funny. John is funny. Oh. So when we get going, once we get going, and I know Doug is right now on. He's doing something because uh, he's got his mic off. But once we get going, we'll answer any questions. And on this type of thing, I think we probably want to answer the questions right away. So we'll be watching the chat. And if something comes up, we'll go ahead and try to hit on it so that it don't get passed by or whatnot. Marianne, please hit that like and subscribe buttons to show support for DD. Thank you so much, Marianne. So we'll navigate through that. I won't. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to answer the questions. Let's see how it works. I'm not going to say, like, for example, L says da 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 da. Photon says da 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 da. Buttercup says da 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 da. I think I'm just going to read what you guys say. Try that out and see if it kind of goes better. Or do you guys just want to still go with, saying who's talking, who's making the comment? What do you guys think? What do you guys think, everybody? Do you want your name and then the comment, or you just want me to read your comment? Or your question, should I say? Just comments on the subject. There you go. Sounds good to me. How about everybody else? You all good with that? Thank you. Appreciate that, Bible. Sounds good. Tell you, we'll see how it goes, and if it has a different little twang to it, then we'll go with whatever makes sense. But if I don't mention a name and I read your comment, it's not because I didn't want to. It's just because I'm trying to. I hate falling behind on anything, and this is something I hate getting behind because then it's trying to catch up to everything. And okay, Doug, are you still in the house? Are you still here? Okay.
I am still here, dog.
Are you ready to roll now?
I'm ready to roll. Yep.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start now. When Chris comes in, we'll bring him aboard, and then Chris will be here with us. So right now, the topic is going to be literally, Doug, just like I told them, when they have a question, keep an eye. I'm going to put the question right under, like where Marianne's is at on our screen. I'm going to put their question there. And if you happen to see that and you're talking, you just stop and answer that question. Try to do this on real time. And then I'll do the same. If I'm talking and I see somebody, put a question up. Or if you see somebody, you put it up there. I'll go ahead and know. We'll only put questions up on our thing so we can see, that they're, wanting to know something.
I love it.
And the reason I say that is because we've covered this a lot. So because we've covered these topic of the ransom notes, it's just, I'd rather just hit it out full go from the very get-go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. So we're going to start. So apparently, Brianna Whitney went ahead and gave up some more information. Don't know if it's all of it, but it's definitely a little bit more. And she gave up some information as to what else was said in that first note. So, Jug, do you want to start us off?
You want me to start off? I don't really have I don't have the note in front of me or anything.
Okay. So basically, I'll just go off with the first. So in the first ransom note, there was some other things that were actually released information that, once again, we still haven't gotten, right? We never got this information. So I'm going to read that first ransom note with the new additional information on it. So if some things are like, oh, well, yeah, we covered that part, just know I'm just going to read it all because there's no sense of just, giving half-assed for that matter. All right. So it starts off the first note, hello, Savannah. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk at the beginning about, and I'm going to break this down as well. So I know everybody has said, well, why did she write this to Savannah? What was the reason she wrote this to Savannah? What was the idea? Like, why Savannah and not the family? There you go. Make sure you guys put your questions on caps if you got a question. Why did she literally single out Savannah in this whole thing, this note? Okay. Now I'm going to give you my take. Then I'm going to go ahead and let Doug give you his take. Okay. My take on why is because not only does Savannah is the one with the money. Okay. Savannah is the one is going to be really the one that's going to be able to meet the demand of what the request is, which was 4 to 6 million in Bitcoin, 4 by the 5th, 6, if not by the 5th, 6 by the 9th. Okay. And so the idea is, in my opinion, it's going to be Savannah because Savannah is the only one with that type of money. Okay. So they're going to focus on the person that literally is the one that they're expecting is going to come through. Okay, that's one. The other one on the reason I think Savannah is because, honestly, I think she was very close to Savannah more than the other ones. Now, I know that sounds kind of horrible to say. Chris, we're waiting for you to come on in. So, there it is.
Here.
Chris is in the house. You're late.
So listen, don't start with me this early in the morning.
We're already talking. We're already on the road.
I know, but the problem is I was here. I was setting everything up. I just got back from a meeting, but
I kind of figured you were busy, bud.
I had to meet with the board of directors for the school because there was about $40,000 worth of damage from the flood.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
So,
yeah.
You know, and I'm the maintenance guy, so they were grilling me, and I'm like, I just work here. I don't know.
I just work here. You're good, man. You're good.
Here. But good morning, everybody. But check that out, right?
Oh,
know
wow.
Yeah, yep. So, anyways, but I did hear about you reading comments, and only comments that have to do with what we're talking about. I'm not going to be able to speak then.
Well, what they're gonna ask comments. They're gonna go ahead when they got a question. They're gonna ask a question. They're gonna put it in caps.
Yeah.
You guys, whoever's not talking needs to watch the chat as well, so they can put it on the screen on below us. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't sign up for this.
Okay, well,
all right, let's do it.
The rule.
The rule. Oh, we got rules now.
Doug, oh my Lord!
Here
we go.
Listen, I need a few minutes to just get my stuff up, but I'm here. So.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, my friend.
Sure.
All right, everybody. So the reason that I believe, in my opinion, is that everything was sent to Savannah was for the simple fact, one, she had the money. She was the only one that really had the money. Cameron had a little bit. I mean, I think his net worth was about 1.2, if I read it right the last time. Maybe it's a little more, a little less. But Savannah's the one that everybody knew had the funds. So to me, it just makes common sense that they're going to direct this information to Savannah. Okay. The other aspect that I really thought about was I think Nancy was probably closest to Savannah. You got to remember, you know, Savannah, for a better lack of words, made it. And what does that mean, made it? Well, she made it. She made it to the pinnacle, probably at the highest level in her field of what she would ever thought she would ever get to, right? So I think the mom had a lot of, and she was also, you got to remember, she was the youngest one. And the fact that her dad, he was really close. Her dad was very close to her, very close to her. Not that he didn't care about the other siblings or the other kids, okay? Not that he didn't care about him or they didn't care about him. It's just Savannah was the one that literally really rose to that next level. Not minimizing anything with Cameron, because he did a lot as well. Retired in the military, F-16 flying jets, for the better lack of words. So it's not like minimizing him. It's just, I think there was that connection that they had. When you would see, like when they would show them together, or when you would see pictures, or even when like Savannah had her and her mom and her sister at that place in Tucson where she was doing the introducing everybody, this, that, and the other, that one thing they did, roots, her grounds, where she was from, and all that kind of stuff. You could see that when it came to Savannah, she was very, very, you could see that spark. So I think the people that were involved in this, they knew the family, and they knew the family pretty damn good. Okay. They knew who A, had the money, and B, who would be the closest one to be able to persuade or get them to go ahead and pay that money, right? Here's the thing. If it's not Savannah, if Savannah doesn't have the money, the only person they have to convince is Savannah. Doesn't matter what, if Cameron said, no, we're not going to pay this, that, the other, or Annie, obviously, no one else mattered when it came to the convincing of the individual that was going to make this literally happen, right? All you needed is one person to say, we're doing this. And that's Savannah. Why? Probably the closest to Nancy. And she had the money. So everybody else is kind of irrelevant. So in my opinion, that's what I'm thinking was the reason why this was addressed to Savannah. What's your thoughts on that, Doug?
I totally agree. I think she also had a bully pulpit. So if there was any other hidden message within the letter that we haven't heard, that could also be a reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I even forgot the bully pulpit. Yeah, you're exactly right. Absolutely. Without a doubt. She had the means, she had the money, she had the platform. Basically, all they needed to do was convince her, in my opinion. So, April, you'll be going to your, oh, Lord. Hang on a second, everybody. I hate when this thing comes up. All right.
And I think there is more to it, because in the beginning, you remember Harvey saying that the media was involved in this somehow. Like they played a very important role, and we still haven't heard what that role was.
Right.
It's being omitted out of the letters.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's a very good point. I like I said, I think that literally the process of who was going to, like, who were the ones that they could push the buttons. That's why the interesting part about, for better lack of words, DC from Hawthorne, California. That's why that was so odd, because he was trying to get somebody in the family who had no means, basically, in all honesty, really had no say so in the matter of whether this was going to get paid or not. So that was kind of the odd anomaly that this guy, not to say he's not involved or couldn't be involved, just saying, trying to capitalize on somebody else's misfortune. That would be my take on that. What is everybody else's questions in here? Do you guys got any take on this? Chris will be here in a second. Now, he's here, but he's trying to put some stuff together. Marianne, I'm really, really interested in hearing what Dee, Doug, and Chris think about this. Okay, here we go. Let's put it up there. Tushi says, I feel the note was written by someone A and T knew. That's why it was addressed that way. It's a very good point. Very good point. So because they knew A&T, they knew that's why they addressed it in the way that they addressed it to Savannah. Perhaps that's a good point. AJ says, Dee, can you highlight L's comment directing people to use caps? Yes. Hang on a second. I don't know how to do that highlight. Let's see. What does this do? No, that's not it. I can't. I don't know how to do that, AJ. To be honest, I'm really not sure. Just know, everybody, make sure you go ahead and you just capitalize your questions if you got them. It'd be easier for me to spot out or any other of the guests on the panel. Tushi says, I feel the note was written by someone, TNA. Okay, let's move on. Spool says, just read it. Okay. Yes, Tushi, my prime suspect new is A&T. Tushi, I think the notes were written by A&T the first and A the second. That's a good point, Al, because I'm thinking I am with you all right there on that. That, in my opinion, I will cover why. I'll cover why I believe that. All right. April says, just post her comment above DD. Just post her comment. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. All right. Let me see here. Like that? Will that work? All right. Okay. Keep going down. I'm going to say the names because I'm just used to that. Annie, Tusi, I agree with you. We got that. If you have a question, please put it in caps in the panel. April. Oleg. I feel the ransom notes were an afterthought. I think she passed during the abduction. I think it was pretty quick. No doubt about it. I do believe it was pretty quick. Chris, DD, need link. There you are, Chris. April says, I still think T is the mastermind, in my opinion. Bible. To me, DC's text was not asking TNA for ransom. DC was reaching out to who he thought was receiving the ransom, aka Bitcoin, military. I am literally, let me see here. I'm trying to do two things. To me, DC's text was not asking TNA for ransom. DC was reaching out to who he thought was receiving the ransom, aka Bitcoin. I am a literally person. Got you. What's your takes on this? What's your take on this, Chris?
I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I'm having internet problems. That's why I dropped off because the internet went out. So
got you.
I don't know. I may have to drop out again and try to reset something. But yeah, I don't.
Why do you
I'm
think
not
they
sure,
reached out
but-
to Savannah, in your opinion? and not the family as a whole.
Hold on, my man. I'm trying to. Can you hear me now?
I hear you perfectly.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Now, say that again. I'm sorry. I didn't hear a word you said. It was all broken up.
So, Savannah, what is your thoughts on why the note directed it to Savannah specifically?
I don't know, really. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Well, I mean, I guess, how do you start at Guthrie family? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you start the note Guthrie family? We have your mother, or
Well,
do you
for
go
example,
right to the money lady?
Exactly. So, for example, my take was Savannah had the money. Savannah was probably closest to Nancy out of all of them, you know. And then Doug pointed out she had the platform, so everybody knew who she was. And really, the only thing is, the only person in this group that you had to convince to pay that money, the only person you had to convince was Savannah, because she's the only one that had that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
that would be my theory. That would be Doug's assessment as well. Just everybody wanted to get everybody's opinion, so that's why I was asking you for what your thoughts were.
Right. Did you or Doug happen to catch the interview room last night?
Watched a little.
I'll tell you right now, honestly, you know my stance on what I believe happened with Nancy. I believed it, like I just said, believed it was a cover-up. Today, as I sit here, I'm not sure anymore, because what they brought to the table yesterday and going over some notes and the card, and has, I can honestly say, probably changed my mind 80%. Yeah, I don't have an answer to why they sent it to Savannah. Maybe because she is the money person, and she figured if anything, she would just pay, right? Just pay and get it over with. But unfortunately, that's not how it went, right? So again,
Well, they did send that letter. The first letter that was sent was to Savannah.
right, and that's maybe, like I said, just because, hey, she's the one with the money, so let's do it. But that's what I'm saying, Holly. And this is where the stupidness becomes. If, let's just say it was family, they were stupid enough to say, they were stupid enough to say Savannah, right? Because if it's the family writing it, they're, I guess maybe they weren't thinking, hey, hello, Guthrie family, we have your mother. They just sent it to hey, Savannah. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of what the interview room guys were saying last night, which, you know, they broke down the ransom note and the card in the interview room last night, and everything. So the first note was to Savannah. Hey, Savannah, we got your mother. We want this. Blah, 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 blah. If it doesn't happen, bang, 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 bang. Well, the second one was, the first one was the mean, right? The mean, hey, we got your mother, Savannah. We want this money, and blah, 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 blah. If you don't, she's going to be blah, blah, blah. The second note wasn't like that at all.
No.
The second one was, hey, shit, we're sorry. Your mother didn't make it. You know, it was the apology, right? It was the apology. Sorry. But now Whitney, in that note, let out the other stuff yesterday, or the day before, of, we knew about all of her conditions. Wait a second, I said to myself, you knew what? How would they know about all of her conditions? And how would they know to say, you know, well, we think it was a heart issue? Well,
Right.
she probably had a heart attack when you broke into her house.
When you woke her up in the middle of the night.
So, but how did they know about all of the medical conditions? Because that's what they said. We knew about all those underlying conditions, but didn't know how bad they may have been. But what is that telling you? That's telling you that whoever it was knew her.
Without a doubt.
They had to, because you would never know about all of her conditions.
Absolutely.
And then and you know, I'm going off of what I heard on the interview room, because that was eye-opening to me. I was blown away by what they were saying about, they took the ransom note and then they took that card, the words,
Mm-hmm.
and they also broke it down to where if it was two people at the house, right, and there was two people writing these ransom notes, they broke it down to one person wrote the mean one, the second person wrote the sad, hey, we're sorry this happened note, right?
Right.
So they came to the agreement that these two people are now not on the same page. There must have been something that happened between the people that were trying to take her, because you would think that you would both write the note together or be on the same page. And when they broke down the ransom and the card and the writings, they were able to pull out of it that in each one, they used the same words multiple times. We was used multiple times.
Correct.
And other words that they broke down in that. And man, I'll tell you, if you haven't seen the whole thing, watch it, because it is absolute eye-opening. Because what I like about how they do it is they bring Dr. What's-His-Face on there.
Bricado.
Yeah, and that's what he does, man. He knows he knows what these people are thinking. And he opened the door last night to things that I would never even have thought of. And I swear, like, you know, if you haven't seen the whole thing, dude, watch it later, and after, you're going to be like, holy crap. I mean, hey, it could be all nothing, right? But like I said, it changed me 80%. Now I'm 80% believe that she was taken. It's not a cover up anymore.
I never thought it was a cover up, in honesty. Never. I've always said it was a kidnap or ransom.
Yeah.
Because of the fact of how it was playing out. And to your point, you're right. I mean, they've done a live before on this, and you know, some have done lives on this specific topic. We've covered this live on specific topics, and it's always been that the one thing we don't have a psychologist with us that could give us that inside mentality, right?
I'm gonna try.
You know, so that's the difference. That's the difference. Alicat, welcome in.
Yeah, it's I mean, I have a lot going on over here with floods and all this crap, but you know, wow. I'm like shocked from everything that they said last night and how they broke it down and how they made it. And, you know, when you see the whole thing, it is, wow. It's incredible.
Very eye-opening, sure.
Yeah, no, I've changed everything in my mind, and you know, in an hour and a half, it was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You know, and just, yeah. So, you know, and everything that came out of those letters and the notes and stuff, and I mean, you had to know these people. That's why you're apologizing. The lunatic kidnapper isn't going to write a note and say, hey, sorry, this is what, you know, your mother didn't make it. I'm so sorry. They're not doing that. They're going to be like, yeah, all right, well, hey, yeah, it didn't work out. On to the next one. They're not going to apologize.
Right.
It makes sense. And telling them, now she's buried with nature. That's like, thank you, sorry, we can't give you, who we are or whatever, but we did bury her with nature. Now, there is other words, and I may grab a section from that, which we're allowed to do. We can grab a bit and play it for a few minutes and then stop and nobody gets in trouble. But they explained something that I want you to hear straight from it. And we can do that in a few, because that itself is another piece that just blew me away. So, but before I stop, I got two things to say to you. We need to look at our California friend, because that's back, and you're going to be shocked unless you saw it already. All right, you're going to be shocked for what they found and what the cause of death was.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in shock with what I heard. I can't believe it. So, anyways, and then I guess Nolan Wells, the sister of Katie, I guess she speaks out again. There's a new report came out today, just so you have it in the back of your head. It just flashed across my screen. So.
Okay.
But
welcome in, Lori Smith. So, Bible asks, DC have been asking TNA about paying back a loan or anything the way it was worded, in my opinion. It's a good point. That's a good point. No doubt. AJ says, yeah, we'll go back and play some of those, AJ, as far as some of those things from the interview room.
Yeah, I'm going to get them up. I'll get them all together in a couple minutes.
Says, Annie's note standing on ashes tells a lot. Annie left at the house by the flowers. Yes, there was a lot of things that you can look at, but I wanted to pick our brain first to see what we come up with and kind of compare the notes to what others are thinking, because then it kind of gauges where are we at? Are we following that same MO, that same modus operandi? Are we in that ballpark? And honestly, I think we are. I think we are definitely in that ballpark. I never once thought this was just a kid unaliving just to unalive. Didn't make no sense to me. The idea. Now, I tell you what's interesting is when you do look at those notes and you look at what Brianna Whitney added to that, the idea that the letter, and we talked about this before, the letter that or the card or whatever you want to call it that Annie left behind at that shrine in front of Nancy's house, that was all, in my opinion, the only people that could really know all these, in my opinion, just my opinion, that could know all these dynamics was somebody that was very close to Nancy, without a doubt. And that goes without saying, without a doubt, is the only one that could have known exactly, what, for example, when they talked about the note, when it talked about, we didn't know that her conditions were that bad. They knew she had conditions. Now, they may have not known to the severity, like what her heart couldn't take, but they did know the conditions, without a doubt. Thank you, Lori Smith. Thank you for the 10 gems. It was without a doubt the fact that they literally, somebody had to be close to her. And there's only so many very close people. And the reason I say that, look who has come out to want to find her of her neighbors. Look who has come out to want to search for her of her neighbors. Look at who's come out that is willing to talk for her of her church friends. Not a whole hell of a lot. Not a whole hell of a lot of people, right? So the idea that she had really nobody, I mean, if they didn't really truly want to help her now, then why would they fit this profile? You see what I'm saying? So the reality is, this is why I had literally numbnuts at the top, for better lack of words, LD, and I had over here literally DC, A, and T. And honestly, I always felt that there's a connection right there with the last two. Now, the first letter that was written, that person is going to be hard for a sibling or a kid of that parent to write that type of letter. In other words, I cannot see anybody write a letter like that to their mom. Nobody. Okay, maybe a sicko, but I can't see anybody write a letter like that to a mom. But I believe that that letter was written by somebody that by blood wasn't related to mom, but knew the mom, knew Nancy. I mean, you just got to follow me. Follow where I'm going. I'm not trying to put out names out there, but you just got to follow what I'm saying. It's one thing to be a kid of the parent and write that letter. It's another thing to try to write a letter like that. It's another thing to be someone who's close to that person, but not by blood. That's why I always thought he had a role to play in this whole thing. I know everybody thought I was crazy, but that's what I always believed. You know, LD could very well be the dumbass at the front door, the goofball. Just go out there and, you know, I never understood what the role of the porch guy was supposed to be, other than I know everybody always said, well, look over here, look at. I never could understand, well, what the hell are you distracting from? But now it makes a little sense that you have all these anomalies here where the back doors are open, the gate is open, everything is left open. You got a guy at the front. So what is happening? The normal situation of a kidnapping, it's not that normal now. Now you have to really think outside the box. Why were the back doors open? Why was the gate open? Why, you know, it's almost like it's going to make them work to be able to solve what the hell has happened. You follow me? So to me, it perfectly makes sense. Distractions to get Nancy out of the house. And perhaps it was. I'm thinking it's more like confusing law enforcement to do exactly what's happening now, and that is to make them have to look at so many different things. It's almost like twisting them in circles and pretzels because they don't really know. It's not making sense. Well, if she didn't come out, you know, the blood's at the front of the door, the back doors are open, the front door's locked, the gate's open. I mean, you really have to think, and even if you think, you're not going to really have an answer because it's not normal. But maybe that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted for them not to spend so much time on everything else, but trying to figure out, was it this unaliving? Was it, that's what the whole purpose was? Was it a ransom? Was it, you know, a burglary gone wrong? The more doubt and the more questions you can put in law enforcement's mind to think of outside that box, the more you're going to have more time spent on that than actually who did the crime, you know? And so for me, that is why I always thought, and that letter that was placed at the shrine, I do believe, without a doubt, in my opinion, that letter was also written but it was written in a way kind of like the second note was written. That second note, that was a sympathy note. That was like getting, like, there's nothing you could have done, Savannah. There's nothing you could have done. This was going to happen. There's nothing you could have done. You know, we, plural, we knew that we did not think that she was that bad. Well, what is we? And what was that bad? Well, of course, her condition. It was her condition, her health. But they weren't probably, even though they were there with her, they probably didn't realize what it could take to go ahead and have her heart to stop. That's why I'm a firm believer. That is exactly why I'm a firm believer that second note was more likely someone else who was close to the family. That could have been very close to the family, because that's more of a I'm sorry note. That's more of a love you, miss you note than that first one. The first one, I can't see someone in the I can't see someone of blood family writing that. So there's where I get those two individuals where they fit in the role. My opinion, just an opinion. Doug, you got the floor.
Yeah, I guess I stand alone. I don't think family had anything to do with it or any kind of cover up. I think it was a bigger, broader group, and I really think they were trying to change the rules in how ransoms were paid. And they were trying to collect ransom without proof of life by giving intimate knowledge that, hey, we're serious, we have her, and this is how it's going to happen. You're going to pay then, now, or else this is going to happen, and they didn't pay. And in between the two letters, Nancy passes away, and I don't think they're so sad that she passed as to that their plan failed and foiled, and they weren't able to change the rules, because that would have set up future kidnappings for ransoms and made it easier for criminals to get money and extort people. And it goes to the common saying is we don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's exactly why.
Okay.
That's what I think is going on.
That's a good opinion, without a doubt. Good opinion. What do you guys think, chat? Where do you guys think, just from that, what do you guys think in your mind as to the role and who could have played the role? And by the letter that was the first note and the second note, who do you think was written by? And who do you think could have literally had something to do with that? What is your take? Let us know your take so I can go ahead and read what you guys got to say. No family involvement, says Oleg. L, I mean, the Ramsey's case, says L, they tried that, in my opinion. Marianne, I read the note and I didn't see any mention of 4 to 6 million. It just says money.
That's because there's still parts of the note that have been omitted. It's still not the entire note. We're just getting bits and pieces of it. Brianna's just connecting some of the dots in between the specific tidbits that were let out, I think.
Okay. Doug, go after that one. Read Bibles, will you? I'm going to see something real quick.
Read Bibles. Where's Bible at?
Very end.
What am I missing here?
I'm sorry. I think the first note was Cam. Second note was Annie. That's interesting, Bible. That is very interesting. First note was Cam. Second note was Annie. Interesting. April. The two ransom notes and Annie's note were too close in the writing. So I'm sticking with my original thoughts. I can understand that, no doubt about it. Errol, why would the note be that long? It's just like the one written in the Ramsey case. It's not normal ransom letter by any means. It's a good point. Holly, I think that A&T has some involvement in all the names that come up are all tied together. I can see that without a doubt, in my opinion. Good point. AJ, Brianna said the amount had USD, like if you are in USA, you wouldn't said USD. Good point. Song in my heart. Hey, Tommy, can you drive mom home? Says song, a song in my heart. Welcome in, a song in my heart. Interesting. Annie, I won't change my beliefs until they arrest someone. Good point. L, and the apology makes me think even more that it is someone related to her. That's very odd. Who apologized? Someone who feels guilty. Here's the thing. You can't say, well, we're going to give you Nancy back if it's someone close to the family. I mean, really close, right? Because then everything gets exposed. So you can't really do that. But what you can do, I just wonder if Nancy was the type of person that sometime in her life she has said to her kids, you know, when it's my time, just bury me with nature. She was such a nature person, right? She loved watching the little critters, animals, or whatever the heck would come up. That's why she's apparently put the cameras up, right? So I wonder if she had ever made that comment before. When I go, I just want to go and be buried with nature, or I just want to just go with nature. You know, that's something I've always asked myself. I wonder if she ever even thought that or made that, like, you know, how you just having conversation and she's talking to her kids and she says, you know, the day I go, I just want to go back with nature. I don't know if she ever thought that. That's just a thought in my head. I wonder if that would fit, because it was almost like saying, this is how mom would have gone. So we can't give you the body. So therefore, all we can tell you is that she went the way she was buried the way she wanted to go. I guess. I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought. Hell, Stephanie, I think she knows too. Didn't always think so. Don, don't think she has a part of it, but she knows, in my opinion. Good point, without a doubt. Holly, maybe that's why the family never looked for Nancy. Yeah, that's a damn good point. L, and welcome in, Stephanie. Welcome in. Very interesting. I'm sick of living in Savannah's denial about family. It would already been solved if Nanos didn't clear the family. Very good point, Stephanie. Very good point. Interesting. Well, that's the very first thing, and we didn't even get into it yet, but that was what I looked at from the very beginning. That was my take, that she literally, Savannah was asked, Savannah was directed, because that's only one person in this family that needs to say, okay, we're sending the money, or okay, we're going to do this, and that's Savannah. Without her, they can't do anything. So really, why go through all these other people that have nothing to do with it, other than why go through these other people that don't have the means to provide what they're wanting, other than to go through the person who really does, which is Savannah. You just got to convince her. She will be held. This is what she said. She is safe. Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. Yeah, I mean, I know they made a big thing on Nancy because they're like, why'd she have to say her name? It's her mom. They're, but maybe, yeah, don't know. She is safe but scared. She will be held for ransom, and once payment is received, she will be released unharmed. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. Once a payment is received to the Bitcoin address below, she will be released within 12 hours of deposit to a safe drop-off location back in Tucson. And it's kind of like, yeah, it is kind of like saying she's not close by, so they would have to drive. I'm not sure if that's just a confusion that they want to make everybody confused as to how far she really is when she's probably next door. It's very possible. We will be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. One payment is received, 12 hours deposit in Tucson. If the payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be unalived. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. Well, the only person that was going to make that decision was Savannah. I mean, that's why they wrote it to her. It was that guilt trip. If you don't pay it, she becomes unalive, and it's all on you because you could have paid it. Oh, and by the way, she knows about it. Marianne says, if all of this came from Hello Savannah, and there is more to the note, I'm going to need more coffee and coloring books. It is in the best interest, everyone, to have the completed as soon as possible. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiations. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. The note included specific details about the crime scene intended to prove legitimacy, stating she had a white smart watch that was on the floor near her bed, EKE at the foot of her bed, and then there was a floodlight that was destroyed in the backyard. The sender demanded an initial payment of, what is it, 3 to 4 million in Bitcoin by February 5th. 4 million by February 5th, escalating to 6 million by February the 9th, the first deadline, if the first deadline was missed. What do you got, Doug? What do you have?
I just want to say that the second letter came in between them two dates, so Nancy didn't even make it the full 7 days.
So now the person, let's talk about that. So the person goes ahead who wrote the second note. This is why they're saying it was a female who wrote it, someone who was feeling guilty and really didn't want the money because at the end of the day, she ended up passing. Now, they had till the 9th. They could have waited till just to see if Savannah would have deposited that Bitcoin money, right? They had till the 9th. But for some reason, she became unalive on the 6th. Or, yeah, on the 6th. And they sent that other note that said, basically, she's unalive. And they didn't ask for any ransom. Why is that? Maybe that second person just felt guilty because it wasn't supposed to go that way. And it did. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there was more of a, and they knew that this would literally cause problems mentally, more than likely, with Savannah. So therefore, they were trying to ease the blow, if you know what I mean. They were trying to ease it so she wouldn't take it so hard. And there's nothing you could have done, Savannah. You know what I mean? Almost like a sense of guilt. That's why I still lean towards someone very, 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 very close to her, because really not too many people would have known Nancy's health conditions. And they always worded everything as we, or us, or some plural type of affiliation. Just saying. Marianne, why wouldn't you be able to contact a person that is wanting money? Because they don't want to get caught. They're not wanting to get caught. They're wanting you to do what they tell you to do, and that's it. And when you don't have any options, you literally have only two options: pay it or not pay it. Don't pay it, and she ends up becoming unalive. That's on you. Pay it, and we'll go ahead and give her back. We'll drop her off at a safe spot. But they don't want to haggle. This is not a haggling session. We are in control. We're telling you this is what we want. That's why there's no contact, because the more contact that they have with them, the more possibility that they could end up making a mistake, getting tracked, or slipping and doing something that literally holds, that they're discovered, and then they end up getting caught. That's why they would not want to have any contact with anybody. That's just how the ransoms work. April, law enforcement would not be able to contact a person that is wanting money. April, law enforcement will not be able to help you or wouldn't help you is my question, because they haven't done anything but distract this case. Well said, April. L, exactly, April. Ellie can't help if they know what's going on in covering. I think they unalived her at the house. I don't believe it was an accident. Interesting. Marianne, why would they say you won't be able to contact me if they were asking for money? Doug, do you want to answer that?
What was the question? Why would they think what?
Why would they say you won't be able to contact me if they were asking for money?
Because they already set the rules.
Absolutely.
You pay the $4 million by the 5th, or you pay the $6 million by the 9th, or else we're gonna kill her. She knows this. It's in your hands. The decision is up to you, Savannah. Are you gonna listen to your heart? Are you gonna listen to Pima County? Are you gonna listen to the FBI? And whose decision was it not to pay?
That's exactly right. That's how I see it. That's why the more they try to have a conversation with this person who took her, the more they expose themselves on the possibility of getting caught. They're setting the ground rules. They're telling you this is how it's done. And really, when you hear about ransoms, how they normally operate, there's not much said in the note other than we have her. Do not contact police. This is what we want. Get it to us ASAP by when they tell you, or you'll never see her again. End of story. And that's it. And now you have to determine, oh God, who has her? It's not a let's call and haggle the negotiation. There is no negotiation. So it really does make sense that they're asking that, and that's it.
Yep, and that leads to why I think the feds may have hindered this operation, because I think if it was just Nanos and Savannah sitting down and making this decision, I really think that the family would have paid, and there's a chance that Nancy could have been given back before she perished.
Without a doubt.
In my
Very
opinion.
true. Very true. And that's a good opinion. L says, to me, it's very clear what happened at this point. L, Brooke, exactly. They don't. April, Brooke, exactly right. Kiki, thank you for the 5 super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you for always supporting the channel, my friend. Thank you so much. AJ, thank you. L, thank you so much, Kiki, for supporting the channel. Marianne, thank you, Kiki. Photon, thank you. Annie, maybe Savannah knew those notes were not real because nobody did nothing about none of it. No, actually, she said she thought that the first two notes were real. I mean, that coming from her, that's what she said.
But yeah, April, I think the FBI and Savannah Call and Mark Kelly actually didn't help the case, didn't help Nancy. That's what I think. And I think that's why Cameron says to him, this is your fault. It's part of the reason. Why did you call Mark Kelly and get the feds and all? We would have been able to pay and get our mom back if you didn't do that. But the feds aren't going to let you pay, especially if they think that this is some type of terrorism. And that doesn't mean that it has to be like a different country. And terrorism is just people that do things that cause terror and fear into people. Like, it could be more broader.
Right. More. That's well said. Well said. Bible insiders were sympathetic in second note because they were watching Savannah suffer. And that's why they told her she couldn't have done anything to change things. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that, which makes me even more so believe that it was somebody who knew the family or was very close to the family. Annie, she said she was told not to pay allegedly. Yep. They did say that.
But she tells us they're willing to pay. We will pay, even for her not to be alive. They wanted to pay. Someone advised them against it. And I have to believe that that was the feds.
I agree with that 100%. 100%. Holly, the notes were strange to me from the beginning. You don't wait day to send the ransom. Oh, yeah, I know, but is it true? Kiki, Holly, maybe there was a time difference, hence the delay. Barney, thought is their second burial plot next to Nancy Guthrie's husband. Nancy Guthrie seems that type of person that would have been legally pre-planned. I'm not saying that her plans were followed if the family was Nancy Guthrie's remains. If the fam has Nancy Guthrie remains. That's a good point. Oh, good question, Annie. Because at this point, I believe SG knew the entire time. I didn't always. April. So, Doug, you think FBI messed up the case?
Yes. Yes, I do. And Mark Kelly.
Oleg, tone, perish is literally a journalistic word, usually reserved for accidents, disasters, or war. Perished in a fire. Hell, I don't believe any of them at this point. None of them, none of the family or LE. I can agree with that. Hell, I believe she knew from beginning because she didn't want to say cause maybe her sister and husband would be taken away from son. Good point. AJ, I don't personally blame Savannah for not paying without any proof. Normally, you got to have a proof of life. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows that. Especially the people that are trying to literally get paid on a kidnapping for ransom. Kiki Khan, Devil Dog, you did not read my comment. Okay.
We missed one, huh?
I guess I missed one. I thought I was reading everybody's comment. Holly, 7505. Maybe there was a time difference. I read that one.
Oh, I think she's maybe talking about the super chat.
I did read that.
Oh, you did read that. That's what I
I did
thought.
read that. I said, thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for
you did.
supporting the channel.
Thanks, Kiki.
Yeah, I went ahead and read that. Song, I wonder if their son overheard any conversation or noticed any odd behavior that he contests to when he's an adult. When he's an adult. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Very possible. Annie, could be Marianne, Doug. I love your outlook. You have me thinking. Ransom normally left the day off. They had to have time to get together, plan because things didn't go the way they planned. Holly, couldn't it been the neighborhood wanted Nancy out of the neighborhood? She definitely didn't have no support, Holly. That's for sure. That is for sure. But that second letter that was written, Nancy Guthrie had passed, had died. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical conditions. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. All plural. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was her heart related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done would have changed the outcome. We are truly sorry. Once again, no one is going to be sorry when you're committing these type of crimes unless they feel guilty. And I just, once again, that second note, it just, I don't know. It's just something telling me that came from close to home. I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. I don't know. Kiki, no, I said maybe she maybe she unalived in a fire where they were keeping her, and that is why they said perish and nothing you could have done to change the outcome. Cremated. I see. That's a good point. That's a very good point. No doubt. That's a good point. Mayonnaise, happy Friday, Devil Pups, DD, and mystery guest. That is Doug. Any Italian people hide things and keep their mouths shut. You sound strange but true. No, I, they were saying on TIR that it looked like somebody written, the first one was just nasty, like a nasty person, the way his verbiage was. And the second person was more like, more punctual, more sympathetic, more kinder, like, and yeah, I could see that. I could see that very well being close to the family, without a doubt, in my opinion. I blame PCSD and feds because hasn't been solved, but mainly and primarily PCSD. Holly, sounds personal to me. Oleg, it is my prime suspect. She will be very closely to family. If it's my prime suspect, she will be closely buried by family. Marianne, hi, Mannix. That's my opinion, though. No fact. April, kidnapper says heart related. How would they know if a random kidnapping? That's a good point. It's a very good point, April. That's why I say it's close to the family. AJ, a plural we but you won't be able to contact me because he was the one in charge. He was the one that made the rules. He was the leader. He was, as Bricata would say, he was the chef, and the others was just the waiter. Very possible. Lake Light, they scared the living hell out of her. What did they expect the outcome to be? Well said, Lake Life. Well said. Welcome in, Lake Life. Kiki Khan, I am thinking the 12-hour time difference. She was taken to another country. We will deliver her to a safe location within 12 hours. Odd, the ransom being paid like England on a private plane. Interesting. Interesting. It's a good point there, Kiki Khan. Did they have Corner on the scene? Did they have Corner on the scene? Oh, Lord. Mannix, Doug, are you the guest man of information?
That is me.
Bible. Something tells me the insiders and others will be arrested when Savannah leaves the country. Probably. That's a good point. I never thought about that, Bible. Let's just wait till Savannah leaves. That way she's out of the area, the embarrassment and all that kind of thing, and then they make the move. That's a good. I never looked at that before. It's interesting. Oh, Mannix, yes, it's Doug. Lake Live, April. If they were watching the news, then they knew about her condition. If they were very close to the family, they would have definitely know her condition. No doubt. Well said, Lake Life. Barney, Essie seems possible guilty of something, but for some reason not being investigated for anything, not even for poop incident. Fishy to me. That's true. L Lake, I 1985, Mannix, Bammy, or Barney, AJ, first letter or more dominant presence of a person. For sure, AJ, without a doubt. You won't be able to contact me. The dominant, the brain, 2-letter, the weak link, likely person connected to Nancy. Person with guilt. Well said, AJ. Holly, do they think the latest robbery in the neighborhood is related? I think they said no. I think they said that it was not related. I don't know how they knew so fast. Marianne, Doug, do you think Mark Kelly suggested Savannah not pay the ransom?
I think that just him being involved took the decision away from her. It doesn't even matter what he said. Once the feds are involved, it pretty much she doesn't have the decision anymore because they're just not going to let you pay ransom. As if they did, that we probably would have had somebody else kidnapped already. It would have became the new normal. And I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to change the rules. Even if they didn't make money this time, they can make money next time. And if we can get ransom without proof of life, just makes doing business a lot easier. I think it's just business to these people. It's something that they're very versed in. This isn't their first time. It won't be their last, in my opinion.
Good point. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. L. Lake, allegedly, yes, in Italy. I haven't been able to find proof of though. Let's see what I missed here. Marianne, Doug, do you think? Okay, you read that. Lake Live. Does Tommaso have a brother? Miss Barney. Hey, Mannix. L. Lake, allegedly, yes, in Italy. I haven't been able to find proof of that though. Marianne, Lake Live. That's not fact. Lake Life, right. Isn't the associated with the restaurant or supposed to be? L, Marianne, I'm still not able to find proof of it. L, Lake, yes, that's been said anyway. Marianne, me either, L. Lake Life, I've looked into it too and can't find anything, but I saw a pic somewhere. L, the guy could be a cousin or another relative, maybe. I'm not sure if it's the brother or not, to be honest. AJ, Doug, thumbs up. Kiki, the language used in the letters are very old English, in my opinion. And the fact that it took a full day to send the note indicates that is in another country. Interesting. Interesting. Holly, I just don't understand why the family never looked for Nancy. So the idea that this was definitely more than one person is pretty obvious. That I think we can probably all get behind. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. So they knew about her physical condition. They just didn't think it was as bad. Because they're saying, we knew she had conditions. We just didn't know they were that bad. We never intended to hurt her. Well, no, you didn't want to hurt her. That was not our intention. We just wanted the money. They didn't say that. I said that. She shortly perished after she was taken. Interesting. What say you, Doug? What do you have? Ask away.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it doesn't really bring us closer. I mean, for me, I feel like everybody else, we all have our own opinions, right? And we all think, we're kind of like on that right path, maybe, or some of us. But just with my thinking, that's where I would be looking at and who I think was involved. Just like, where Doug's at, he's at, in a different direction with his opinion. And as many as everybody else, which is good because that's at least we get to hear everybody's different views and try to figure out, what makes sense. What makes sense, the idea that literally it's just I don't know. I can't get it out of my head that it's not close to her home. I just can't get it. Just in my opinion, I can't see it.
See, I can't see how it is close to the home. I feel like that's the only part. And people that have been investigated, they were investigated extensively. And if there was any there, people would be in handcuffs, and we wouldn't be talking about this anymore. Cases that are harder to solve are when it's not that inner circle and it's somebody outside of the circle. It's way harder to pin them to a crime. In most unsolved cases, that tends to be the case a lot of the times. It's when people act out of randomness and don't have a connection to the victim.
Well, what's that percentage? 90 some percent. It's going to be somebody within who knows her.
That's in crimes committed. That's not in solved crimes. And out of that 99%, 97% of them are probably solved. So then that leaves you the other percentage of unsolved cases.
You're saying the statistics doesn't say that it's probably something related too close to home, is what you're saying, right?
I don't think this is a statistics case. No, I think this is not going to be an Occam's razor case. This is outside the norms in every way, shape, and form. It's not something we have seen before. This is different. So statistics don't apply, in my opinion.
Interesting. Let me see what Lake says up here. Sorry to change subject, but did you see the coroner's report on Joanna Shields? I've been following that case from day one, Lake, and I'm actually going to be looking at here in a little bit. But thank you. Appreciate that.
I want to point out one more thing about the movie that nobody really talks about, and that's the
Okay.
references to Silence of the Lambs, right?
Mhm.
So we know Savannah has her husband, and then she calls Mark Kelly, and then in this note she talks about Silence of the Lambs and quotes the movie. And there's one very powerful person, POTUS, that is known for quoting Silence of the Lambs movies throughout his speeches. He's done it over a dozen times in different places. Like, I think it was a direct hidden message to Trump, like, can you comment on this? Can you, like, see what you can do? Because it's bigger than everybody knows. I think it's bigger than everybody's thinking. It's not the family. I think it's just bigger. And that's why she's reaching out to all these powerful people. And even then, Nancy really didn't get any special anything. There wasn't even a search done.
Right.
So even with all the power and money and everything that she has, there was no special treatment.
Interesting. That's a good point. Marianne, we didn't cover that Lake Live. I read it this morning. Mannix. Femicide is a culture crime common in Tuscany area. T is from especially aging females, victims with health issues. Much has been written on the subject, just saying. Interesting. Good point, Mannix. Barney, problem is Ellie won't just won't just come out and say anything. Just come out with complete ransom notes. I don't see how that would hurt the case. As far as them not coming out, yeah, that's true. That's very true. L, very interesting, man. X. Marianne, yes, can be someone that knows her, but it doesn't have to be the family. Good point. Manix, I might get in trouble for the comment. Sorry, mods. AJ, I think the reason no one is arrested is because of Nanos and his inexperienced minions bought the crime scene since the beginning. That's definitely for sure that they definitely did not help the situation. AJ, without a doubt. Well said. Late. What's everyone think about the SGX husband? What does everybody think about Savannah's ex-husband? Menegs, it's hard to remember when you're into conversation on here. Sometimes it happens. Ellicad, I came in and said hi, but I rewound, so I've been quiet. You're good, Ellie. You're good. Good to have you. L, Lake, I don't know a lot about him, to be honest. The ex-husband of Savannah. Barney, Mannix, we are adults just pointing things out. You're good. Where is Chris?
I don't know. I'd like to make an analogy, though. If you're thinking of Mark Feldman, I don't know if anybody's seen the show Scandal, but I equate Mark Feldman to being a real-life Olivia Pope. He's a fixer. That's what he did. So if you've ever seen it and you know who Olivia Pope is and the things that she did for powerful people, that's pretty much what Mark Feldman does. Ray Donovan type. Fixer.
So you think that's probably what is his role?
I don't know how much of a role he played in a lot of this.
Okay.
I think that's his legal team that we see that goes there when the 5 people show up in suits. I think that's a Mark Feldman fixer team. I don't think it's. That's who I think those people are.
Got you. Good point. Good point. Good point. Mannix, we are adults. Tusi, DC, I feel, has some information about Nancy to get that sweet deal. Very possible, Tusi. Very possible. I don't think that's out of the woods yet. April, I just don't think it's political, but that's my opinion. I respect all opinions. Yeah, I really don't. I don't think it's honestly. I in my opinion, I don't think it's political either. But yeah, I mean, is it possible? Sure, absolutely. Anything in this country anymore is possible. But I think I think it's just more simpler than that. Some will say it's more uh, complicated or it's more involved. But I don't know. I guess I just I'm one of the ones that don't feel that. But hey, anything's possible, no doubt about it. Oh, Chris disappeared. Last I knew, Chris said he had to fix internet issues, but will return. Yeah, after he gets off his e-bike. Carol, I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I just laughed. I was just laughing at the comment.
Carol, just stopping in to say hello. Well, hello, Carol. Heading a game. Gotcha. L, money, motives, in my opinion. L, Carol, AJ, Carol, sweet friend. Yeah, there's a lot of theories out there. I mean, I don't think this really is going to answer anything on what it was said. It was just, information we hadn't heard. You know what I mean? So I don't think that that's really going to answer anything. Not yet, anyway. But you look at this. You look at the note that. You look at the note that Annie left behind. Mama, we miss you so much. Our hearts are broken! Exclamation! Exclamation! We are standing on ash, on scorched earth! Exclamation! What's it say? Something. Oh, we are. Can't make up that word. What it is? Hang on. But mom, through we are surrounded by so much darkness and uncertainty. Our love. Oh God, man, she got some. Whoever wrote this has some horrible writing. I'm not sure what the hell that word is. We love you, mommy. We miss you so much. So is so small. Like, oh shoot, I forgot we missed you. Oh, put so much in there. Just put so in there. Our best friend, Annie Tommaso, and the little guy. I can't think of his name. Interesting. I mean, it's just reading the note that Annie, or trying to read this note. I mean, that Annie left, because it's like, dude, I thought she was a poet, and she didn't know it because her. So I'm reading this right here, everybody. This is that card that she left at the shrine area, and I mean, Yeah. So I'm just trying to make sense of what exactly, you know. I know there's a lot of we's in here. There's a lot of we's. And in that second note, there was a lot of we's in there. That's for sure. Is that just a, like a, what do you call it? Is that just a coincidence? Then the note, hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. Yeah, we covered that. Once payment is received, da, 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 da. Yeah, guys, I don't know. I think this is not going to be something where there's going to be a aha moment. I mean, they're either going to know who did it and they're going to make an arrest when they make it, or they're not. Because I don't know what really more it really shed, to be honest. You can break every word down. You can break the plurals and the singularities, and you could probably distinguish which letter was written by the leader or the guy who's in charge, like the first note, how it was going to go down and what was going to happen. And then you can also, on the second note, you can also see how the person was more passive and sad, was more uh was more sympathetic, and it's just going to fit the narrative basically. I mean, you can interject anything you want in there, right? You can interject anything you want if you think that's what it's saying. I just don't know if, like I said, what does it really mean in the big grand scheme of things? I can't answer that. I don't know. I really don't. April says ransom note buried in nature, and Annie wrote standing on ash. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That second note and that card that Annie left, or that letter that Annie left, they sure are very damn similar. And they always use the word "we" and "us." They never, very seldom do you see, except for that one guy that used the word "you will not be able to contact me." You know, the authority guy. Holly, no lie detector done at all. No, no lie detector. Probably not. Lake, Mannix, I've told my kids and best friend if they talk nursing home to me, it's time to check out. I've seen the abuse and neglect in nursing homes. That's no doubt, Lake. I am with you. L. Holly, don't think so. Mannix, Lake Bar, I agree, and I have seen it. Barney L. I figured he should use the bike after my accident on it last summer and haven't used it since, says Barney. That's funny. Lake, I'd rather unalive myself than go to a nursing home. Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, I'm sorry, Barney. So, Chris, what else do you got, Doug? What do you think? Anything on the note?
On the note that Annie wrote,
On the note that they just released, the information they released, the new wording from Brianna Whitney.
yeah, I think that what we did learn, I think, is maybe that the our law enforcement believe that they're real, and I think that if anything, I think a lot more people think that maybe the notes were real now and are taking them more seriously, because there was a lot of people that didn't even think the notes were real. So I took that away from it. I don't think I learned anything new.
Got you. Let me see if I can put up a video. AJ, Didi, can you play video on T? Thank you. Do you want the one on the interview room? Late, late fire. I agree. I think many people are going to be surprised. Which video do you want me to play, AJ, and or anybody? AJ, which one? Which one, AJ?
think she asked for the TIR, maybe. And the Annie note, I think that was biblical poetry. I think she took some scripture verses and made it her own because she's a poet. But scorched earth and ash from the Bible, like I said before, it's about stand on the wicked. There'll be nothing under the ashes of your feet on this day. Scorched places is a place where your faith provides strength, and unscorched earth unto your watered garden, like planted in nature, and become part of the water. I just think that she's talking to the note writers, and that's why they're so similar. I don't think it's because she wrote both of them. I think it was written that way because she's actually speaking to them.
Got you. See. Let me see. The video shows trigger case and stores each week. I'm trying to find where that video's at, everybody. Where the video's at.
There's also another movie that comes to mind when I hear about this that I've been thinking about, and it's the movie called Proof of Life.
I remember that. I saw that.
And the ransom in that movie was $6 million. And just a lot of, it was about a kidnapping for ransom. And we have other movie references. I just can't not look at it. I don't know what it would mean or anything. It's just strange.
I'm listening, buddy. I'm just trying to find when the hell this is at. All right, let's see.
Monks did talk about it. That's crazy. I'll have to watch that one.
All right, I'm getting ready to pull it up, guys. Down here, okay. Go here. Let's go here. Share screen. There we go. Share. Hit play. Here we go, guys.
Muting. I'll be back.
All right.
Demanding.
Brianna Whitney, a journalist and reporter for Crime Junkie, revealing never-before-heard word-for-word details of the 2 ransom notes linked to the apparent abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, from her Tucson home nearly 6 months ago. Brianna saying she came into contact with the notes while working for a local Arizona TV station.
There's been bits of this that have been talked about online. There's been parts that people know, but I don't think they know all of the verbiage.
The first note arriving to a handful of media outlets in the hours after Nancy's disappearance, demanding up to $6 million in Bitcoin for Nancy's return.
Hello, Savannah. We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared. Then they get pretty demanding and snarky. If the payment is not received by the last deadline on Monday the 9th at 5 p.m., she will be killed. Your mother is aware of this, and her life is in your hands. You will not be able to contact me from here on out. There will be no negotiation. Do not play games. Law enforcement will not be able to help you. Oh my God.
But Savannah and her siblings tried to reach out anyway, sharing desperate messages to the alleged kidnappers via social media, asking for proof of life. The careful wording, some say, crafted with the help of investigators.
We are ready to talk. However, we need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
The second ransom note arriving before the final deadline for payment, about a week after Nancy was taken. And this one included an apology.
We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical conditions. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart-related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We are truly sorry.
E.T. was on the ground in Tucson amid the investigation, visiting Nancy's bloody doorstep.
The blood on the porch, that was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know.
We also talked one-on-one with law enforcement.
We are looking for Nancy Guthrie. We want to find her. We hope she is alive, safe, and well, and get her home.
We are in agony.
Yeah.
We are in agony. It is unbearable. And to think of what she went through. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it.
But Savannah and family is still offering a reward up to $1 million for information leading to Nancy's return.
We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. To whoever has her or knows where she is, it is never too late to do the right thing.
Interesting.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open.
But what were the words? April, he always has a great point. Highly intelligent. Dee Dee, Doug, and Chris always do. These guys are great. Thank you, Al. Miss Barney, it was Savannah reading with Annie and Cameron. Savannah was quoting from the movie. Doug has me thinking. I like his theories. Mannix, that could also be Savannah talking to her, and you'll see, says Mannix. L, they know they're never going to have to pay the reward, in my opinion. Sorry. I'm being so blunt. No, I think that's a good point, Al. That's a very good point. Barney, I love the Hannibal movies. Annie, we still had to go for a few. What other videos do you want to hear, everybody? Is there another video you want me to play that deals with something? Nothing? No videos?
Chirp, chirp.
April, for sure, Savannah is talking to the perps. Interesting. How does that work?
I think they just tried to get some type of communication across. He said that you won't be able to contact me after this. There's no negotiating, and they were just pleading for help. Like, listen, we'll pay, even if she's not alive anymore. We'll pay. Reach out to us. But they never did because they don't want to get caught.
Right. And that, yeah, I was just reading what Mannix April for sure. Savannah is talking to the perps. AJ, the interview room 2-hour mark. Okay, let's see.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
I didn't catch none of this one, so.
Okay. Okay, let's just go here. Here we go. All right. Interview room. All right. Interview room. Interview room. This one here. And it's going to be the 2-hour mark.
suggests to me that there was already a rupture occurring, probably even on the night of the crime, and that there's a certain almost mercenary element. Now, there's mercenary element with the money, but I get the sense that the author of the first letter is also a man who wants to be thought of as a big man.
Word documents. That's it. I format them, upload them to Amazon, and collect royalties every month. No website, no ads, no social media. Amazon handles the traffic. I handle the.
Oh, yes. And probably living with somebody or being in contact with somebody like that naturally becomes tedious, but now the stakes have been up. Yes. And it's things have not gone as planned. And so, yeah, I think we're seeing a rupture here.
That's what I think, for sure. And I think that the first person would not have been happy about this second note.
Oh, yeah. I think you're absolutely correct, because and it would have been twofold. It would have been seen as a form of betrayal.
Yes.
That I'm the boss and you've betrayed me. But also, it probably would have injected fear because you may lead them to us. This dynamic, and as I said earlier, I said the porch guy, no, he didn't write anything. So
now, someone did say in the chat, which I found very interesting, that the phrase "she is with nature" actually exists. Now, I don't know if this is true, but the person in the audience said that that phrase actually exists in Slavic languages, and if you were to literally translate it, she died, you would say she is with nature now, and that's interesting.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting that it would be a phrase. It sounds to me even like, would it be in Slavic poetry? Would it be, because there is something, although as I've said, I consider the second letter to be really mean-spirited and nasty, despite the word. It does contain a certain lyrical cadence. And so, I'm wondering if that phrase might have been lifted from, some Slavic literature.
Who knows? But the person in the audience who apparently speaks a Slavic language said that that's a translation. If you literally translate,
it's fascinating. Thank you for posting that.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can prove that. I'm interested in that. But
it's interesting. The very first word is "we." The very first word is "we."
Who are the three people it's signed from? Is that Izumason? Who's the third? Is that the
That's
son?
their son. Yeah, Momo. Says, "Mama, we miss you so much." Explanation. Our hearts are broken. So she's speaking for all three. We are standing on ash, on scorched earth. But Mom, though we are surrounded by so much darkness and uncertainty, our love burns bright.
Now there's your second reference to something burning. The third, ash, scorched, burned.
You read my mind.
We love you, Mommy. We miss you so much. Our best friend. Interesting. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical conditions. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We are truly sorry. If you go back to the first guy,
Those are not written. The first and second note are not written by the same intelligence.
oh, I concur. I concur now. I mean, it's clear as day now.
That's right. And it's also clear that that second person who could easily have written that first note didn't. And I think, you know, it's interesting. I think the first person might have used a tool to try to get, you know, to write it. But this person is writing, like, you know, on a pad, you know, just what's flowing out of their mind. The first person is making an attempt to sound crisp and to the point and make a demand and all that. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
let's face it, I'm sorry, Chris. Let's face it, that second note destroyed any chance that anyone was going to pay the ransom on the first note. So if you tell that the person is dead, why would anybody put the money in Bitcoin? That's why I concluded that the first person was furious at the second person.
Yeah, because payday was canceled.
Payday got canceled.
Yeah.
Why would you set that up and then have somebody else go, you know, someone else sneaks behind your back and sends another note from the same email address?
Well, particularly since Savannah had said they would pay.
So that's what I'm saying. That sounds to me like somebody who said, I don't want this dirty money anymore. You know? This is
Or I'm scared that when the money does come, they're going to be able to trace it to us.
Right. You know, I always pay attention to my free associations when I talk to a patient or an offender or I read something, and they always wind up telling me something later. You know, if I think about a certain line from a book or literature or a character or whatever. And when I read that second note, what I picture is Judas with the 30 pieces of silver throwing them into the temple because they've lost all worth. And that's what I feel, that somebody who had some feeling about this woman hurt her and then realized that they got nothing. And this is the throwing the coins, you know.
The writer of this note,
what's the worth of them,
brings in the plural principle the exact number of times the writer of this note does.
Mm-hmm.
The word,
interesting.
the writer of this note uses the word we 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
5 times.
5 times. Where's the 5th one, John?
First line, we miss you so much. Third line, we're standing on ash. But Mom, though there's we love you, Mommy. We miss you so much, our best friend. So there are 5. And again, I'll note that love is underlined unnecessarily and barely recognizable as the word love.
Got it. This one, we have 1, and keep me on the right track on this one as well. 1, 2, we never intended. That was not our intention, which is a
plural.
All right. We, again, so that's 1, 2, 3.
And notice this, Chris, as you count. She perished shortly after she was taken. Again, that's an avoidance of responsibility. She perished shortly after we took her, is really what happened.
Yeah, so they both have 5 if we count our as, you know, the plural connection. Maybe nothing. Interesting, though. Very interesting that, and I don't know what the cadence is in this.
It's
And
lyrical.
They've been put through AI. Everything's been put through AI.
Yeah, exactly. It's been put through Coach. Whenever I write an email, I get an invitation from MSN for Coach to rewrite it.
what's your thought process about this, John? I mean, you mentioned the word love is underlined.
Well, it's underlined and the letters are scrapped. Look at the spacing between most of the rest of the letters. Well, for starters, let's look at the first two, the first three lines. Mama, we miss you so much. Our hearts are all broken. The writing, which is kind of a combination of printing and a little bit of cursive, it's all kind of, well, it tends to angle downward, which to me suggests depression, sadness. The exclamation marks are thrown in to me. They look to me as if they're afterthoughts. Like, I want to emphasize this point. We miss you so much. Well, we would assume that. We're standing on ash on scorched earth. Now we're back more on an even plane. Now, let me stress, I am not a graphologist, but I've done some reading and my eyes will tell me stuff. But Mom, though we are surrounded by so much darkness and uncertainty, our love burns bright. All of that's on a pretty even keel. Then we start seeing choppiness. We love you, and then there's a huge space, Mommy. Now, and usually when there's a huge space when you're writing, it means that you've come to a place where you're lost for words. So we love you. What was she going to write? There's apparently some pause before she eventually writes Mommy, but there's a space which tells me some thought went into that. We miss you. Now that miss is, again, the letters are all crabbed together. Do we, and there's no dot above the I. So that could say mess you. We could, again, it's not carefully written and the letters are close together. We miss you so much. We know that it's supposed to be best friend, but again, the lettering is kind of obscure here. And then the two exclamation marks.
Well, and you have in this one, that was not our intention. Our best friend.
Yep.
We. So you have, what strikes me on this is why why do you have to, put the explanation there? Why are you forcing it into the note?
Yeah, that's an excellent point too. Well, why is this much explanation needed?
Gary?
Well, I have to tell you, and let me be clear that I cannot say anything about the particular person we know wrote this, because I'm being very careful about that.
I understand. Yeah.
But one thing that struck me about this, I mean, even the first time I read it, is that there's a misuse, at least it may be a misuse, of the phrase on scorched earth. The expression on scorched earth means, as you both know, the brutal military technique of destroying everything in your path as you leave an area so that the descending army cannot use it. You set fire to the crops and property and everything else so that you go scorched earth. It means you burn everything down to spite the person that's trying to come in and take something from you. Now, why the heck would that phrase be used here? We're standing on ash on scorched earth. So what's the implication of calling that scorched earth?
Everything's
Scorched earth is something you do to your own land.
Exactly.
Or your enemy.
You do it to spite an enemy. In other words, you hurt yourself to spite an enemy. That's what scorched earth means. You're not getting what I have, even if I have to lose it myself. Now, why the heck is that phrase here? Now, I'm guessing that it was misused. That the way that the author means it, the way that whoever wrote this means it, is everything's been destroyed.
Yep.
But that's a misuse of the phrase, and it is very interesting to think about its actual meaning. So it's also there's a quality to it. Now, look, let me be very, very careful about this. But I was inspired years ago by the wonderful writer Jameson, the psychiatrist who famously has publicly spoken about her own bipolar disorder. And she wrote this book called Touched with Fire about the relationship between emotion and writing and painting and bipolarity especially. And what she talks about is how in some writing you get this black and white, light and dark, good and bad kind of quality. Dualistic writing, because it reflects a kind of bipolarity or fragmentation within the author. And so she would say something like, well, for Dickens, who was probably bipolar, to write, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, is not surprising, because it's this black and white, manic depressive kind of worldview, right? And there is an emotionality to this note in the sense that we get that good and evil, light and dark, that whatever kind of fragmentation going on. And that's interesting too. There's a black and whiteness in terms of how it's philosophically kind of driven and all of that. But I think it's important to emphasize that according to what we know, that this note is written by somebody who's a member of a family that has lost a loved one and is expressing pain. But it's interesting at the same time to kind of think about it in the way we are.
I find that's an interesting dynamic. I do, to your point.
About the black and white and the good and evil and the
and it's a dynamic from which kind of leans me into the dynamics of the family. Why does the brother lean over and lean into this is because of you to Savannah?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in one sense, you have this picture being painted, and then the other sense, you have Savannah going, "Is it because of me?" And he goes, "Yes, sweetie, it's because of you. I believe it's because of you." And I'm paraphrasing, of course. But you get this swing of the pendulum in the dynamics of the siblings. Where the older brother is basically, I mean, you can't get much right.
I will do that, buddy.
As
All right,
quick
brother.
as that.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
This is a kidnap for ransom. Remember when he said that and everybody went, how the heck did he know that? And then Savannah comes out and says, well, he's a military intelligent man, yada, yada. And he just knew. And then she says something to the effect of, well, is it because of me? Do you think it's because of me? And he goes, yes.
So Chris is not going to be able to come on in. Basically, he has no internet service. I guess the modem went out. So not sure when he is listening, but he won't be able to come in. He's listening on his phone, but he won't be able to come in. So I just wanted to let you know because he told me to let you guys know that, all right? Just so everybody knows. You guys want to still hear this, or you guys just move on from that? Or are you guys listening to the interview room? No? All right. So that's what we got going on, everybody. You're good, Chris. You are good, my friend. You are good. No worries. 2C, poor Chris, that happened to me a few weeks back. Totally understandable. All right. Well, I tell you what, everybody, let's have an open chat. Talk about whatever for about 15 minutes. Let's talk about open chat. Let's just, any questions, anything you got, let's have that conversation. Chris, hope things improve. Sorry to hear, Chris. Chris, I think you pissed somebody off. Oh, Lord. Hey, Jay, hit me up a little later, okay? Oh, interesting. We love you, Chris. Wishing you well. Well, Doug, anything? Anything you want to add? Anything?
I just see the note more of a hopeful thing than a dark thing. It's more light to me than it is dark.
Right.
That's how I.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
It's about their faith and what Nancy instilled in them. Like, even though you were taken away from us, and there's these terrible people in this world that do these things, you're buried with nature now. But we still have faith that everything is gonna happen the way that it's supposed to happen. We're gonna move forward. And not because they don't care. I think it's just it's a testament to what Nancy taught them as children growing up, to be forgiving and have hope and faith.
Right.
And I think that's all it is.
Well, yeah, there's a lot there, man. There's a lot to unpack. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Similar to the Savannah Guthrie Easter message. I know I put it in text, but you can look at it two different ways. It was dark and all that, but it ended with a happy version of it. Like,
right.
Even though all of this bad stuff is happening, I still have faith that everything happened for a reason, and it'll all work out in the end.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. Oh, what a day, man. It's just been a long day for me today, no doubt.
What's everybody else think? Any questions?
Anybody questions in the chat? Any questions you have? Any comments you have on this new information that Brianna Whitney put out? Any questions on the TIR room? Any questions on anything? Good point, though, but we can never forgive the cowards that preyed on an 84-year-old lady without said, well said, Lake. Tushy, I never heard the word God. How about you're in God's arms? Very good point, Tushy. Very good point. Very good point. Maybe, yeah. Mannix. Nancy Guthrie case is so sad due to her vulnerable status. We as society need to care for our elders. This case is failed for our society, in my opinion. Well said. It's a good point, Mannix. Chris, yes, I have a question. Why me? Oleg, does anyone feel we have not got much info from TIR since they spent a week in Tucson? I do. Also, well said, Oleg. Brittany also stated the floodlight was in the backyard. Well, they did talk about there was a floodlight that was broken. Was that the one at the front door, the one they talked about? But now there's another one that was busted in the back? Is that what I'm understanding? Or is the one that was busted the one that was from the backyard? Anybody?
From the back. From the back.
It was the one that was at the back, right?
Yes.
We knew about that one then, right?
We did.
We did.
We didn't know that it was in the letter though. Initially.
Got you. We just knew it was broken.
We just knew it was broken.
Yeah, got you.
And I think it's the same thing with the clothes. They don't say what she was wearing when she was taken because there's mention in the letter of what she was wearing.
Got you. That makes, I mean, yeah. I mean, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I get it. Maybe they're wanting to use that as a, fact of that these people are who they say they are. But I mean, at some point, if it appears that, you know what it seems to me, everybody? It's just hitting me now. It's just hitting me now. So the whole time they were talking about at the very beginning of this case, after the second, literally after the second day of this case, and then when they finally called off the search, you know what it is? You know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think that everybody, being the FBI, possibly the sheriff's department, definitely, that they all believed the first and the first and second note, and that's why everything just pretty much shut down. I'm starting to think that. I'm starting to think that's why we got nothing. That's why everything became crickets. That's why they didn't really search anymore. That's why this family wasn't looking for her. It's almost like everybody believed hook, line, and sinker, and it's probably true. I don't know, but they all believed in the first and second letter that it was like everybody just gave up after that. When I say everybody, I'm not talking about the streamers. I'm talking about the powers to be, the people at the top, the people that make the decisions. Because everything went kind of, after like probably the first, 3 days, 4 days, everything just kind of went by the wayside. And then you got the 6th, you get the letter. Well, you don't get the letter. They tell you what was in it on the 6th, that she had passed away. So they knew from day 2nd, when they first got the first ransom notes, the date, February the 2nd, I believe, or the 4th, 2nd, I believe, that they knew from the very beginning, or they felt that this case was pretty much like they weren't getting Nancy back irregardless. What you all think about that? You think that's how that's why everything just fizzled out?
I do. I agree with that.
I mean, I'm just now thinking like Jesus. It seems like after, that's why they couldn't tell everybody this. Not they couldn't. That's why they wouldn't tell everybody this. But if you go back and you look at all the things that happened simultaneously after the first ransom and the second ransom came out, after you go ahead and read that and you go on after that, it's like everybody just gave up. Not the streamers. I'm talking about people that knew that they believed everything was legit. And that sucks. Because here you got so many people that are still looking and wondering what could happen and wondering what happened and trying to figure this out. When in all actuality, for a better lack of words, these morons they knew they were done. We just didn't know they were done. That's why nothing made sense. Why isn't the family searching? Because they told them she's probably gone. They read it. They seen it. I mean, why did they stop searching? Because they felt she was gone. They knew it from the second day. Why did they not want the FBI involved? What's the purpose? What's the purpose? If you get the FBI involved, I mean, we're just spending money, even though the FBI would take care of the tab. They're like, no need for it. She's done. That's pretty shitty when you think about it, everybody.
Very shitty.
Because we're over here trying to analyze and figure out who, what, when, where, why. We're trying to figure out. We're looking at other people possibly going, it's probably him. And I'm talking including myself. It's probably that person. It's probably this person, or this person fits the bill. And in reality, they don't know who it was. They probably figure they're never going to know. And so, It's just that simple for them just to throw in the towel. How horrible. Unbelievable. Oleg, I feel that. I was frustrated at first because I thought that's it. Lake, if that's the case, then make a damn statement to the public. Without a doubt, Lake. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Let the people know. Why keep stringing people along? You know, what's the purpose? To keep stringing people along. Oleg, if you didn't know what we know, no one would have picked it up. Tusi, but still search for the body. At least look for at that point you still had a body. It wasn't, just remains. My God. Well said. L, they're not going to search because they know exactly where she is. Oleg, yes, Tusi, she deserves to be found like any other missing person. So all I can tell people over there in Tucson, the older generation, hey, hope to God you don't go missing because, don't look like you're going to get a whole lot of justice. That's for damn sure. They kept playing Nano's infamous "If You Know the Statement" last night. Yeah, I know. That was so funny. We need to know what you know because we don't know what you know. Or some shit like that. You remember that, Doug?
Yeah.
They kept playing. It was something like, we don't know what you know, so we need to know because we don't know. Or some stupid. It was like, oh my God. Oh
Yeah,
my
they needed
Lord.
more information.
Nobody is left. Sorry, it's all ashes. They get like, yes, cracks me up every time. White noise. Ole, he said that more than once, for it just rolled off the tongue like with no mistakes. Oh my Lord. We don't know. We need to know what you know because we don't know what you know. Or some shit. Oh my God, that is crazy, everybody. Oh, you want closer? So you want her return? The case makes no damn sense, says Lake. I laughed every time he played it. Oh my God. April, bad storms over the island. Laughing a lot. I am ready for this day to end. Penguin blue waving tear. Oh my Lord. Make the best out of it, April. Make the best out of it. Ole, he said that more than once, for it's just a roll of the tongue. Like it just comes natural now. Well, everybody, we don't know what you don't know. So, or some shit. I can't even get it right now. We don't know what we don't know. But we don't know, or how was it? We don't know what we know because we don't know what you know. Or so. Oh my God! It's almost like it was just. Oh my God! Oh my Lord! But yeah, it just hit me just now as I'm sitting here, dude. They threw the towel in already. They threw the towel in from the second day. Everything got shut down. Well, most of the things got shut down. They downsized the search. Maybe not all the search, but they did downsize the search. They went ahead and gave the house back after the second day. I mean, how can we forget that? They gave the house back at the second day. They were ready to go, yeah, here you go. Wash your hands. We're done. And there you go. We got what we need. I mean, dude, that's pretty pathetic when you think about it. Unbelievable.
Yep, pretty pathetic.
It is when you really think about it. It's pretty sad, man.
And then when you couple in the response that Nanos gave Brianna Whitney when they were trying to contact them that night at 10 p.m., he says, "Do you know what time it is? Like, I'm only the sheriff from 9 to 5. Like, after that, like,
And not on Sundays, apparently.
and not on Sundays or while I'm at a basketball game."
Or in a basketball game. How about my lunch break? God, that is crazy. I've never seen anything so crazy like this. Oh my soul. You can't make the Nanos effect stuff up, man.
Nope, you can't.
That is just crazy. How did the reporter keep it together after he said, "I have been laughing at him"? Oh, shit. Gotta get to the gym.
I'm in the middle of my ice cream here.
Hey, I'm in the middle of my lunch break. I get a 2-hour lunch break. I'm going to go work out. Catch me when you can. And, I don't work the weekend, so don't call me. Unbelievable. That is sad, man. They threw in the towel from the very beginning when they got that ransom note. I've just never heard of something like that, but you know what? Everything points that no one gave a shit after that. Think about it. They gave the house back in 2 days. Let's give the family back their house. We're done. I got a game to catch. We're done.
Yeah. I think he just thought that they collected all the evidence.
No,
so
dude.
they get.
I mean, he knows better. Doug, he knows better.
He should know better, but I don't know if he did.
You don't collect all evidence in 2 days. I mean, it takes not even 2 days, in like a day and a half. My God, you're barely getting people to come out from forensics and different places to come and help you. And you're like, hurry up, give them the house back. We're done. She lived a long life. She lived a long life. She lived a good 84. She lived a long life. I mean, that's the impression I get. Like, who cares? Yeah, she lived a long life. She's good. Unbelievable. And I'm not saying the family feels that way. The family probably felt like their hands were tied. They couldn't really say anything, couldn't really do anything. They could have searched. They could have done that. No one would have stopped them from searching. And they didn't do that. But, I mean, as far as, like, giving the house back, that's not their call. That's not their call. Nanos is the one that, or the investigator, Nanos tells the investigators, and then the investigators go ahead and say, yeah, boss, we got everything done. We got everything done, boss. What else we need? Give them back the house then. Okay. Dude, that is sad, man. That is very sad. Photon, have a great night. You got it, Marianne. Give the house back. I was washing my hands clean from this case. Oh, my Lord. Should never have ended this way it did. Bye, Photon. Thank you for being here. We know that you know that we don't know. So if you know that we don't know, and I don't know what you know, then we both don't know anything. So we need each other to know something. It reminded me of the guy from Princess Bride. You ever see that, Doug?
Oh, yeah.
The Princess Bride, when that little guy sitting on the thing, he says, I know that you think that I think that you know that I. Remember when they were doing the poison thing?
The poison scene, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what it sounded like. That's a Nanos right there. I know that you think that I know that you know. Oh my God. That is crazy. That's insane. Ole, Miss Barney, did you rehearse that? Miss Barney put on that shirt. I will buy that. Ole, yes, I did rehearse it. We know that you know that we don't know. Oh, Lordy mercy. All right, everybody. Enjoy your Friday. Oh, Lord. Enjoy your Friday, everybody. We'll probably go on tomorrow at 9. Hope we'll cover a different case. I'm not totally giving up on Nancy Guthrie. We don't give up on anything, but we'll definitely probably look for something, maybe even talk about this latest news with Savannah Shields from Carlsbad. We've been waiting for the toxicology report, and apparently it came out, and it doesn't look like there was any foul play. So maybe we'll touch on that. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know, thank you so much for being here. Doug, I appreciate you coming aboard. Hopefully next time, Monday, we can go ahead and have all three of us on and kind of, bounce everything around. So thank you so much for being here, Doug. I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks for having me again, Dog and Pops, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. God bless, my brother. Have a good
God
weekend.
bless.
All
Semper
right.
Fi. You also.
Semper Fi, my brother. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
All right, everybody. Just going to go ahead and end this now. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day. Have a great day. To see Marianne, Mannix, L, Lake, Barney, Oleg, Buttercups, Lake, Votan, Mannix, AJ. You guys have a great one. Chris, you guys have a great one. We'll be here hopefully tomorrow with something new. But just want to say thank you all. You guys make this very enjoyable, and I appreciate all the support from every one of you. You guys make the channel what it is. So thank you so much. God bless you all. Appreciate you all. With that, it's all common sense, folks. It is all common sense. Semper Fi, everybody.